Guys, welcome to our channel Make to IT, and today we are going to discuss more about what is VPC, and is the one of the important service in offered by AWS. So we're going to discuss that, and I'm not going to create VPC here because while working with a company, because I have a previous 3 or 5 year of experience in IT industry, and I'm using this AWS so long, so it almost whatever service or whatever resources we deploy in AWS, that we will deploy with the help of Terraform only, right? So going to create in this console, it's a waste of time, right? So but you have to make sure that you will have the idea that how we can create the subnet, what is the work of subnet, what is net gateway, what is VPC, what is internet gateway, and what is security group, what is NACL. It is a one of the important thing that you must know while dealing with this service, right? So I am going to discuss this service here, like what is the steps required to create the VPC, uh, because we're going to see the whole overall module in Terraform in the upcoming videos. Okay, so just stay tuned this channel, and I'm sure that you will, after completely watching this video, you will have a pretty much idea that about this concept. Okay, so let's get started without wasting your time. So first of all, what is VPC? VPC is a virtual private cloud. Okay, so in a real time, or if we just talking about any project, let's consider that you are working for Netflix, and Netflix has multiple availability zones, right? So you are responsible to handle the movies part. Okay, so let's get there are multiple movies right now Netflix has, right? To maintain that, you have to provision the servers, you have to create the multiple storage for that, but you have to make sure that no one can see that data from outside the world. So for that reason, you have to create the virtual network for that. If you are working professional, then you mostly heard about VPN, right? So while working with client environment, we generally use VPN, right? So that's VPN. It's one of the service offered by Amazon as well. But in VPC, so basically, what VPC does, VPC create a virtual private network inside, in that you can launch your AWS instances, or whatever service you have required, you can launch within that network. So basically it is an isolated network. Inside that you can launch your multiple resources. Okay, so first of all, while first so now you got the what is VPC, right? So first step is you have to create a VPC. Okay, so here you have to give the VPC name, and you have to provide the CIDR block for that. Also, yeah, I think pretty much UI had changes over here. Okay, so you have to just provide the VPC range. You have to just add it the range. You can add whatever range, but make sure that whatever CIDR block range you have mentioned while creating the VPC, you have to use the same CIDR block range in your subnet. Okay, so I have not created one here. So here, let me just create one more VPC management. Okay, yeah. So we saw that how to create a VPC. Yeah, it is easy step that you just have to create the VPC, and you have to specify the CIDR block for that. And inside that, there are you can create a private subnet and public subnets. So let's consider that you have database, and you have front end website, and you want to that show that website whole time for that, but no one can access your private data that you have stored in your private subnet, right? So we have uh, we will have to create the subnets over here. Then you can create sub private subnet as well as public subnet, and after that you have to create route table, and once the route table is created, then you have to associate that route table to your subnets according to your, let's consider that you have created one public route table and one private route table and one public subnet, and second one is private subnet. So you have to make sure that you are associating that private subnet with private route table and public subnet with public route table. Okay, and one more thing is important here. You first, while creating VPC to provide the internet inside that VPC, you have to create one internet gateway and make sure that you have attached that internet gateway to your VPC. Okay, and that is the thing. And let's consider that you have created your subnets, you have associated the route tables as well, you are specified the CIDR block range as well to your subnets. And so there is a one important question here, that how you can provide internet to the private subnet, because you know it is a VPC, right? It is a virtual private cloud, so no one can access my private data, right? So if you are providing the internet, then how? Okay, so that is the question, right? So that answer I will going to tell you with a diagram. So you can see over here. So you can see here we have did so far, we have created subnets, we have associated that subnet with route table, we have specified the CIDR block range of that subnet. You can see over here that is private subnet and this is public subnet. So we generally, you know, while providing internet to the private subnet, we have to create a NAT gateway. Okay, the work of NAT gateway is to provide internet to the private subnet. Okay, because you know you want to access the data of data you want to access the data from the database, then you must have the internet is required over there, right? So that's why we need to provide the internet to the private subnet as well. So that's why we have implemented the NAT gateway here. But how NAT gateway will get the internet? Will provide the internet to the NAT gateway. So while making sure that when you create the NAT gateway, you will have to create the NAT gateway inside your public subnet. Okay, so then only you can able to provide internet to the private subnet. Okay, so this is the one of the takeaway that you can mention your notebook. It is the one of the important thing. And while associating with that NAT gateway to the subnet, you have to make sure that you have associate. Yes, so this is our overall VPC diagram, and in the next time, in the next video that I am going to make it, so that time we're going to implement this overall scenario. Subscribe our channel, so that will make that will give you a confidence to make such kind of videos, right? So thank you for watching, guys. Please share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.